nanka yebefiase. We should have started questioning way back. Because so bibe introduce bibi chero. Now the any new to you are. What do? You have to investigate. And what I say I made a lot of things here, illustrations when I am delivering a message. And a beyen pa to know say everything I know today started from what you do not know.
Nia unim nyinano. Nia ne unim nyinano. E sha se fi
de unim
yenim.
Senti me can be no bitia. No ko Bible no ohun nesa. I was there. I was like that. Ye nyina na ye nim. But Nyankopon wadie bi a creator na oye ne say. He's always painting pictures. He's always drawing art. And it leads you to the beauty of najne, the intention, the bibia, and all this craft starts with you personally. And it started from just the same Bible you are holding. That is why I say the Creator always wants to talk to you and communicate within you with what you know, so that he can reveal what you do not know.
Okay, ichi say ni enim ne Bible no ene ne Bible naka. Some Bible no so no Nyankopon asem.
Enye nyame asem.
I've heard you say Bible no African history. Ena yatro. Ene ye abra Africa for. They now because that's not what we've been told.
So you can do a research, go online right now as you're listening to me. Go and look at our ancient geographical location of the African map. And look at the Northern Africa, what it is called now. And come back and tell me that the Indian is not an African. Come and tell me the Jews were not Africans. Come and tell me the Egyptians. Now we know they are Africans, but they don't look like us. Because in the Bible we know a man called Noah. He had 3 children. Amazingly, one of them jumped out to be a black man. And he is the one that his father cursed his children. So I'm bringing you a story that doesn't make sense. And you have to ask questions. And untina aggrandizement, woho, advertisement, woho, make the thing look big so that people will actually not look at the right information. And you know, oshe niema ye advertisement won't be brain no. Adia ye pese catch your attention no. Ni ya bold no. Those that contain critical information, they are in very small letters. And the white man tells you, if you want to hide a secret from the black man, keep it where?
In a book.
In a book. It's as simple as ABC. So you can pick a black man's story and turn it into something else. And he will not even know this is his story because he doesn't know his history. You go to the university and they are not even teaching with our books. They don't even have teachers that come from the perspective of Africa.
But who is to blame? I mean,
all of us.
Right.
You are to blame if you are listening to me now, and you have a choice.
We come from a background where we are kwada na usha se ubisa nsɛm a yɛsɛ opre we mpanisɛm yɛ tiaw akwada mbisa asɛm saa akwada ntumi mpani di nkɔmɔ akwada ntumi ennibi, you know. We grow up not learning to ask questions. We grow up not to a point very timid. You know, so at the end, even if it's glaring in your face, you can't even question it. We be blaming to some kind of culture, no, and I said we were simply taken advantage of.
Every culture comes from a human perspective. Nipanti asebi baby ojina. Enema ochichire sa amamre no. Ema ne man ene ne crew. Oti ase. From where we come from And it will surprise you that our white brothers, they came from us. We are united. But we don't know. Now, Africa for no, yankasa. Ya mamre ni bi wo ho a eboayen, ebi wo ho a emwayen. And ye chechire amamre out of experience. That is Africa. And many of the youth are beginning to question everything about religion because they can't seem to find Africa in the picture. We are not fitting in, and we are meant to believe, say, our fathers never knew God. They never had a relationship with him. And we have to accept somebody's perspective of who God is and try to embrace it without understanding it. So what you say? Into your culture ni bi wo ho a example. Ye papa no mu hu ye say. Ye nuanom abrofo no wia niama bebrefi ye nchen. So what did they do? They started hiding. How did they hide it? They dig the ground and they bury the resources that could have lifted the family. What you say? And then when you are dead and gone, now umaye den omo bre.
Because omo ndim baby a
enti age se wo kofre obi a ne spirituality wo high. Sometimes ne yenso spirituality, we believe in communicating through manifestations like edua ebo any bibia. Enti wo be consult obi a onim no aba be hwehwe mama. And we didn't, that was not a good decision. Number 2, when we realized that our brothers were taking a lot from us, our father started telling us, you have to take back that which belongs to you. They have a lot of anger and rage in them towards our own white brothers. They say, you came and stole from us, we are going to steal from you.
Right.
And that message our fathers gave to us hypnotized us. It made our whole generation believe that we have a quest of recovering something that used to belong to us. When the white man was no more, we started stealing from ourselves because we have become used to the nature of taking.
It's the big show. Our way back.
Juma she obi nsa. So mbe ye juma mawa. Obe priya kofie. Ye wari oba ni akache ni se wo kwei. Prayer de ye den. Ebre fie. So our whole mentality was boxed into this hatred, pain, and agony that our fathers had gone through.
Me twawa no siabo ye de nyankuntomu nsem news na poso no etwam sima na afi yatoa so e de amamna na nshua ba kwabna sifi e de nyankuntomu nsem etwam e de amai nana yenti we
Wafa sebedase fellow Ghanaians no siabo ebra so se nyankuntomu nsem anonso ba de bebrem no ene anim ye yaturudi na poso na ebra so semede ebedamo ensem ne edom kuma wo mra se bedwam e de kire se COVID-19 sika ne foto aban etwato ho no bra so se ye de calculator to ho na ye bu akonta to mo ka che na nado wo mrai na wo fa pen ne calculator mra na ye boboduro mu nyame yadma wo china Concerned Drivers Association wo mo de kire se wo mba ye naked demo pa ewo enkra pumpuni mantem ha ene ye wo yo ba na wo ba mesra wada menhye he pieto kra menhye bi enti bra na wo mo fo mani mehwade pa ye boboduro mu ewo asinfosu na hono mo ena municipal health director owura Benjamin dia tuja kire se wo yo ba bia na nyinse kan na wo ye na o pese wo wa enwo fie ekoba sa waso ba he etibiri susu so de bra kwara ye nyina wu ye fie o ye wo dua so edi ye behwe na ye di musam e di abadamo akwabo a me be sia no ne ye maame atoa so
right
maame we mi pera se pa na me pera hwe pa na mahuni ni okasa pa okasa edi wona ne toa so why
right yes
na o ye wo he efie
me hospital
me ye wo mi mukasi yo
me hospital
e ko fema me no wo fom bai na
nemu wanzam de twa me yi no
no
dia sharp pa
wo de ne wanzam
ai
me de maame aburo bi ne twa so muti ne tekura.
Right, after our journey, a high Rainbow Radio International 87.5 FM. Share live on Facebook. Your name, Reverend EVELYN Wilson Annan. And I twitching come way. Yeah, shut the hintia. She say, I say everybody is questioning. It's the abundance of knowledge and amana basa.
It's also part of it. But half knowledge is dangerous. So when nimdie bi na nimdie no unni kosi ase a ɛha dwen. It throws you about. And the wave everybody is seeing, not only in Africa, it's everywhere. People are beginning to ask questions. There is an awakening bell. And those that choose to be awoken will be awoken. Those that choose to enlighten, they will be enlightened. So the sleep time for every creature, this dispensation is going to be over. I don't know about the dispensation that will come after us. But as far as we can all see, there is a wave. There's an awakening. As I say, our body is waking up.
Obi bisa questions.
Yes.
So what has caused this awakening? Then I'm for to say as ye ni ba ye ho sui.
Ayo body so body no mu. Ono so ye kanea. Enti your son do baby a untimi nche kanea no so. Ena se wura edan mu na edan no emu yesuma. The moment a kanea be wura mu hu baby a bibia si. Enti kanea na fiase ye adwuma. Because people have been speaking and we don't listen to them. Yentie omo. That has been our problem right from the word go. We were taught to read. We were not taught to study. Make us say we were taught to read. We knew. They learnt from us everything that they know. But when you don't study, the thing you have been reading for years can be a different thing in a twinkle of an eye. When you study, you will understand it differently. But ya kind yentiase. Ya kind sa so yentiase. Enu tinu so bi kan bibia. Wa kan mana to utirim. Inti ni de unima ni de nipa na kan. So when you are reading, you have this preconceived mindset. And pese ubeyi efri utirim.
Right.
And when someone practice spirituality, and I say me pese mi hunu nipa meye, the kind of divine being I am, or practice here do baby, now or hand it over to the next generation. Na next generation antinasia ebedane a religion.
Okay, when there's misunderstanding and miscommunication in spirituality now, not bad than a religion.
But than a religion.
What's the difference? Religion and spirituality, because you said Ubia or practice religion biano is supposed to be a spiritual person.
It's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be under rules and regulations. Religion binds you to a certain composure. You cannot shift. You cannot explore. You should not believe anything outside what you are told in that religion. But when you begin to encounter the spirit that made you who you are, your mind starts expanding, because is to bring to life the invention and we are bringing it out. The okaya no the project no blueprint and maya no. We are bringing it to reality. And a lot of people think Eden was our final destination where everybody should have been. And then one man ate a tree that never existed.
Garden of Eden.
Yeah. And then we lost everything. And then now we are back to zero. And then people start asking questions about it. Why was the tree planted there? Who planted that tree?
Right.
Why would you plant a tree to kill somebody you want to live for long?
Right.
And it's a mimiti way. Minimadie nyina na minimdie besi. Minim sa kwala kuta sekan a ebetwa no. Na me de sekan na ma o say. Sekan ya me de ato animi memfa. Knowing very well that this is an underage individual amenene kasa me dane me ho a me be fa sekan offense will be twa.
Are you not being carnal? You better say obi a o apply carnality to the interpretation of the Bible.
To every religion, anybody that discovers divinity within him is not making sense. To those that discover divinity in them, religion doesn't make sense. So it's either you are on this side of the coin or the other side of the coin.
Obi asuji di say ono so ne de na ye. So where do we strike the balance?
You don't even need to start from somewhere. Start from you.
And show obi out there start
no, start from you.
You better say okay, tie bia makwa sorry message ya kan a kire me ani. Sisi a made be almost 40 years hi. Ni amate okay, so mama shares you see. I heard you talk about programming. Yeah, say a shares if ye mama mo yem na afi aba through the education that we get, no, the information that we are fed, no, a programming in a certain way. Now, yeah, idim computer kakra idim say programming so the language and the programming.
Exactly.
Enti oba computer ma ones and zeros. Okay. Enti your programming language say C+ and afi Python and ni ekeka ho ni nyina. Okay. When it comes to religion, the kind of coding and programming it is so rich to the extent that when it gets in, a very hard to obesesano, you know, enti obia ye preach in a certain way. Fi nenkwada brim abc bia be 18 years. Okay, yato Jesus honyum yatro home books, yatro home stories, ni ade nyina no. How do you reverse that kind of programming for the person to come to a realization? Say, oh, and you say na I will say does it have to start with the person, and there can be an external influence?
Very good question. Programming started with information. Information, so there it comes through letters. Then the letters form words. The words will begin to form sentences.
Right.
Then when you read, you understand. Mm-hmm. When we were born, before someone introduced us to any book, we had our own programming. That programming knew God. Mm-hmm. We didn't jump from somewhere to appear. We knew God and we knew Him well.
Before I hear basa siso.
Before nipa bi o be basa siso ha onim Nyankopon ansa waba o. Onim bibia ansa na waba. That notion that akola obewo no, like in the womb, he doesn't know anything. Children can pick signals, your emotion, everything in the womb. They can communicate to you. They are spirit beings. Start accepting who you are. We are home. The project of God is divinity becoming man. Into osoro ne sane ba asase so first. Now we convert asase into home. And you know, God will step into man and man will become like God. And yeti ahwiano na ya asase no, ye the divine breath and ye the gumu, so that it can become a living soul. A living soul.
Right.
And you know, we are transforming gradually into our spiritual beings, who we are truly, because this excursion we came to do is for a particular project. As I see, we the lowest thing among creation, Yerem way, is to learn, work, and play. We came here to demonstrate what God is and who He is. And He wanted it to be like, have a free will and play. But that free will, it will come with a lot of people making their own bad choices.
Right.
So there is a system that corrects that bad choices.
Which is system near den system.
Oh, me tell you,
right.
I'm a system which is correcting bad choices.
Okay.
You should be a system. Now system no, ye the programming ashe system no. Inti system no ena se unya start say who operate with the system na kane ana start ye den. It's coming out na epie. At every every level of light, you are elevated to a higher light. So we graduate if you are elevated to another light. So you may know something today, 2 years to come, if you maintain your pace with your spirit, you will get a higher dimension of understanding with the same thing that you knew 2 years ago. Because you're elevated. Na sanyama we na ye ni nyina no ye ntimi nja obade no ewom. Because if your body no mu na ye den e baaye.
Right.
That is why he tells us that we are gods and that he has set us here to judge with mercy and defend our brothers, because a people make bad choices. But in the bad choices, no, you are not left alone. And this is what you are not told. You are still being elevated by so many means with the Creator.
It will be a bad choice, no. Then with me who said Yankupon still Yankupon no. How does a person come to the realization say okay, been quite sorry that, because I also have a notion in my mind say near onim papa na boning kwan onim no boning kwan onim ti boning kwan obeye eti. How would that person come to that realization say papa bi wo ha ya wo se me?
You see, still you are in the programming. You think ubeye Christonia, you begin to know papa ne boning. It's wrong. When we have not known the meaning of Christ, then when you say Christoni, then you have to be a Christian. No. You don't need to be a Christian to have Christ, because Christ indwells you. Christ is the light of this world. He came into your body first in creation. Let there be light by word. And that light is a word. But we don't know his name as Yeshua. Neither do we know his name as Christ. So in every generation and culture, we identify him by the name he has given to us. We know him by that name. Enuntino, say ye nananoma bresono. They walk in spirit. It will surprise you. And they had the light, which is Christ, the anointing and the anointed one.
We have the universal Christ.
He is a universal Christ. We don't have a tribal Christ. It is Christians that we have built a tribal Christ. And when you don't belong to our fraternity, it means you are going to hell. Christ was given to the entire universe. He started everything by manifestation. And he is known as a word. You don't know. Not that you know naturally. You don't know. It comes to you and it looks as if there's so much light in the details. That is Christ you are seeing. And to me, illustration be a man for
okay.
Christ is in you before he manifests outside. Creation, the who are around you, is in you first before it comes out.
Right.
So creation began with what was within man before it was manifested out.
Right.
So when you want to know Christ, you go within first to seek Christ. Then he will show you his manifestations without. Please, yes, let's go to Romans 1. And then let's check verse 20.
Okay, right. Romans 1,
19:20.
19:20.
Yes.
Romans chapter 1, verse 19 and 20. Reading from the NIV. Since what may be known about God is plain to them.
Everything that may be known about God has been made plain to every human being.
Because God has made it plain to them.
Because God didn't hide it from anybody. He made it plain to everyone. Microphone way.
Right.
Christ can manifest through this microphone.
How? How?
Verse 20. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities,
the invisible things you cannot see about God,
his eternal power and divine nature,
the kind of nature he is and his divine power,
have been clearly seen,
has been clearly seen,
being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse,
so that you cannot say, I don't know him.
Right.
So everything made was to communicate divinity to humans. Then when we connect the divinity created out to the divinity within
right,
we find him. So let's start with your lungs.
Okay. Your lungs, yahrawa.
Yeah, your lungs. Yeah. I don't know whether yes, ahrawa.
Right.
So what the scan see ahrawa na so.
Right.
Ubehunu branches to say root.
Yes.
Ayete said ye, we dua bibi na agin hini no.
Right.
Dua. That is why the spiritual people call us trees. Trees. We are trees of life. In the book of Mark, I see Jesus Christ sa onifreni bi yare. And ordini fi kro no mu na ordini begina bonti no say what do you see? I see men walking like trees. I see trees. I know standing in Sakan and Ibium. I don't see what do you see? He saw Christ. Now, the Bible is only an ancient text, okay, that talks about experiences people have had.
Right. With God.
With God. And some are lies. Oh yes, baby and tro.
We're supposed to see the Bible as a holy book.
It's not holy. Someone told you that is holy. So you focus on the book and you leave the holiness within you. It is very dangerous.
Let's just say we are in hypnosis. So
let me give you. The thing is saying.
But join the live on Facebook at Rainbow Radio 87.5. Rainbow Radio 87.5. Or comment be now there to as the conversation progresses. To us, mine.
Oh, share BB to say. I want to use something I will not be in trouble. In fact, globe, any example.
Globe, yes.
I've used it. Globe is very common. When you go to every school, there's a globe.
Yes.
Baby,
right.
Right. Primary school,
right.
JSS, even in the universities. Now, you are supposed to know at a certain level as a university graduate. Say, you read inscriptions to know what that thing is meant for.
Right.
Now, we have been teaching our children with this globe for how many centuries? How many decades? And we don't even know, say, the invention of globe and the purpose of it was to be a decorative material, not an educative material. And below, at the bottom of the globe, say menfa globe we nkochirechira decoration keke. But we have been using it for so many years. Why? The way the thing was presented to us, it looks like it is the truth and the reality. And no, God was communicating through signs and tokens. So he translated it as a tree. A tree stands for man. And man has two choices, good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
Man has two choices, good and evil. And man will choose either good or evil when we start implementing the design of God. And your destination. I had the but project in it, and Shassia was our rem ha. Into assassin so we are all elevating. We are even elevating creations. What you are saying? How you train your pet will determine how your pet will train your friends, or will attack your friends,
right,
or will relate to your friends.
Right.
That is an elevation. What you say? Enti ye kire wade na project ni ye beye ni nyina wia na ye de wo aba asase no so. Ye you feel rem no mu. Na ye de wo abegyina. That is what happened to Adam. He was given the demonstration of every divine construction that God was doing. And he said, this time I want someone on this earth to start the project.
Right.
Not me, but I will indwell you and we will work together. What he has here. And Adam already had Christ in him. We are told that when he left Eden, God cursed him. God did not curse Adam and Eve.
Hey.
God explained.
Reverend, that's a man, okay.
God. Make sure a simple solution. Tie me on. Nientia obako awoso enne yeda so bre. Ne me kan dey be about ade a yedi twitwi yesen.
Right.
Enne obi akofie still o yusu. You are addicted to it. You are helpless.
I have fluoride no ne.
Me na me kan me kire o. Enne ye pese wo to aso ye ntini ye de bidia wo no.
Right.
What you say? Now so you catch us a walk off obedient no. Any sokodia no.
Right.
Wo do we kakra fa obedient no. But say wonye. Because you have been addicted to the system and you need to be deprogrammed. You need to come to a point where you can deal and live without those things.
Anyway, my member also personally, being deprogrammed and all that, no. Meaning, said one of the things that you've said is to go back to our roots. We'll say, you know, before you introduce yourself, you have to introduce your father, so that you bet me connected. The kind of programming that you've had and all that. It's say you know you can't see you program here, not yet you deprogram here, falling back to your roots. It means that you come back to our forefathers, your great grandfathers, and their way of life, their spirituality and all that. What pass you come back to bosom sumana?
Me sure I dey back. Makasa same way baby. You see, I'm not the only person saying this. God has said this through so many people. We are not listening. And ye men kwana de me catch the we me hu. And kofu bebre hu, but they've been criticized, they've been sent out of the society, they've been persecuted. Because it look as if we are aliens to this world. What you say? Ye kasa no be ye nsuo bebre man krofo. Nti omu ntimi nsuo mu. You are not interpreting what I said. I said, please pay attention.
I am.
For me to know my roots, I have to go back to my father. Hear me. That was how God started with us, because he was a father figure to us from the beginning. Enti obildi bema, no wama bema na beye a father who is supposed to play him on earth. Enti no dear ye papa nom ejifi odoman koma hono, they pass it on to us.
Right.
Said ye wo papa ebe training wono. It reflects his understanding with God.
Right.
Enti affecting wo akola no. When oba, unso the way I will relate with nkrofo no. When you hear father be e was soro odo. Enti ono ankasa kra betima dani nipa besrawa, you say hell no, because my father doesn't love me like that. I've got people that are calling and saying, you have to explain to us why someone will die for us when he's not even my brother. And I grew up with my father not even loving me, and my mother hated me to the core. How do you explain to such a person that God loves him?
Right. Because
his fathers were supposed to play God on earth.
And by the same chia
say ye pe si yesua ni yesua tra. Ye pe external, ye pe internal. That is why we are drawing you back into where you came from. Go back to the womb of time. Search yourself, and you will find Christ in you. I am used to doing Christ. Acquire to say Christo, because Yamaya Adjene say Christo Fuankuan and him Christ. You cannot go to church and still have Christ and even have a relationship with him.
But I hope you may confused, Kaka. You say you cannot go to church.
You cannot belong to church. Men call religion BR, but you have a good relationship with Christ.
Okay.
Because Christ is that light in you that prompts you, that speaks to you, that guides you, that tells you, my son, this is a selfish decision. You know, sometimes when you want to do something, bibi betimi aba say, oh, boa unia we na koye na doye. Then your mind start telling you, onokra me friend de bia on friend. Onokra onye nipa wala so kan me ho asem. Then that voice will keep telling you, kona ko boa.
Right.
He is that light that leads you in the path. Ye nananom, they listen to themselves. Deep meditation. And there Christopher crying meditation.
Oh, are you trying to preach intuitions and
intuition is one of the channels where God speaks to man. Throw away the intuitive light and you are lost forever. Because the intuitive light and the cognitive light work together to make you who you are.
It's deeper. From what you are saying, no, we need to begin to listen to ourselves.
Listen to yourself.
Oh, baby, na bibi akase enko.
Do you know how many people God is talking to? They don't know. Do you know how many people in their church they are praying and they are receiving answers right there and then? They don't know. People doubt that they can even approach God by themselves. You have to let someone go for you. And when they start teaching you, you will stop coming to them.
Hey, preaching there. The church will have a problem with you.
They shouldn't, because we are saying the same thing if we all belong to one father. Said the American, and we be now so can. Where is the struggle? Said the American and no prayer. Prove it. Because there are people in the church. Me yet small training be on the platform.
Okay.
God activate your 5 senses. It is your gate to divinity. Yeah, your body, soul, and spirit. In the spirit dwells God. Okay? The body has a channel and the soul has a channel. Ufum, then you peer in the spirit. Now, waso ohene body the channels. God is talking to you every day. Know yourself, because God is in you. He is manifesting through you. Everything you see outside was already in you before it came outside.
And also another question, say, where do you strike the balance between being a spiritual person or spiritism and spirituality and science? Because before a scientist to be or invent a microphone, first it becomes beginning as a thought and sana which me a produce. So where do you strike the balance? Spirituality and science are the same thing, Anna?
Science divine nature and spirituality ye identify.
Baby.
Science spirituality adia ye nim na hyese ye nim kwan sifa bai or ye honhom but ye timi sua na ho adia na ya tina se ne hu se de ositie. Then we go and bring them in pictures for you to understand. So when a scientist catches a revelation of who he is in the sun, he can come and show you God in the sun. Some of them saw God in the sun. Some of them saw God in the moon. Okay? Because on their quest, they were seeing a lot of things that was talking to them about God. The only problem we had was that when I get an encounter with God and he gives me messages and I don't pass the relationship to you, you pick the encounter and you mold it into a religion without a relationship with him.
Does it necessarily need to be passed on? Because from what you are saying, also that's
the role of a father. The father brings out his kind. You bring out your kind according to your seed. According to the revelation you have, you pass it on to your son to know who he is. Trust me, give him just 10 years, 15 years, or because everything he knows is wabon. What you say? And then a teacher for kukudam, professors a kukudam. We are still writing exam and marking with somebody's marking scheme. So you can run, but you cannot calculate. But because my marking scheme is for calculation, you have failed. That is our problem. What you say? Enti me pass it on the minimi. Bible say Paul. Bible nekan. Oka chro homa koma Timothy. In 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 16. Or say God dwells in light. He is that light that is so bright that you cannot approach it. So he dwells in an unapproachable light. All right? Why did Paul say God is light? Because when he was on his way to Damascus, it was a light that came to him. So if Paul should establish a religion, his religion will be based on light. Because Dionim and Ekanea. If you come to Moses and the people in the wilderness, they know that God was on the mountain. Not thunder name.
Right.
And sana yebesi tabernacle. Inti Israel for no muche mienu. One side holding on to the mountain doctrine. And a baku holding on to the temple. Inti baku ko Jerusalem. Na baku ako mountain. Dioko Jerusalem ne si dioko bepo no sono. Esom bosom. Dioko bepo no sono se dioko Jerusalem ne esom bosom. Because Jew fo bu omo ho in Samaria for, but Samaria for ye Jew fo nua. If we say we'll dig into this, when they met Yeshua, he told them, you go to the mountain because you think that is where God is coming from. And the Jews will go into the temple because they think that is where God dwells forever. And they will tell you salvation came from them because yes, they were chosen to communicate to a certain people and generation. But I'm telling you now that God is not like that. He's a spirit. And those that want to worship him must worship in spirit and in truth.
Right.
So it's not about mountain, it's not about valley, it's not about cave, it's not about
it's not about temple, it's not about nothing.
No way. Your father finds a way of communicating to God.
Right.
He gathers his family.
Right.
They teach them about the divine manifestations of God. My student be me about 2 years or to me communicating with angelic beings. Oba anka by now they not call me a body deliverance because na dream baby touch ma.
Why did we touch it?
Lady be on my platform no so. Or see from Ninkola Brim. Whenever she wants to go to school, or because school near prepare no cause man me go school. Ne man beka said hene house man so kese beto. Or say hene ha no want tamaba. Or start here na nsuo na gem tra. Me anka say bi ye me. I am. So I'm teaching people how to know God within them. Because Christ within before without. You may know him by another name. It doesn't make you an alien.
It's God, Allah, the various names that we have for this one person. No, it's just one person. If you want to find that, you just look within yourself.
To answer this question, I'm throwing this question to everyone listening to me. If the Muslim says, if you don't believe the way he believes, you go to hell. The Christian says, if you don't worship and believe the way we believe, you go to hell.
Christian don't cry their divisions in the doors.
Different branches.
Right.
If everybody is lying, then everybody is going to heaven. If everybody is right, then all of us, we are going to hell. Simple.
Anyway, I have Rainbow Radio International 87.5 FM. Yene Reverend EVELYN Wilson ANNAN and Etri Enkomwe. The entire say a man for he bisa so much questions about religion and most especially Christianity. Intina and Yawahe. Why has it become like that? Now, Asemna Koswa, you can fall back on the tape anytime. Be free. If you just join that. If you want to know God, if you want to know Christ, so reach out first within yourself. Na ube huno. Ube then who say
he speaks to you every day.
You say negative thoughts and positive thoughts. Negative thoughts no ya to say bronsam die. Positive no nyankopon die. Ananya sanete.
You see, let's help ourselves. Maybe illustration get to be. Yeah, abrantie bi or ye actor were acting like Jesus, were dressing like Jesus.
Right.
Ye di achira dear son, me banam bekacha say, and you only Jesus, you would doubt it because that's what you've been seeing every day. And now if it were the other way around, and kabejedi, say me the bibi from the start war and ganusu bejedi.
Yes.
So now people are even beginning to think, say, the who are pictures ni mono or no hear the real Christ to the extent that when they are praying, it is that image they project. Ain't you know, meba starting no ye Jesus. That very moment, I tell you, that is not Jesus. That is not Christ. If it is Christ you are looking for, then I have to teach you who Christ is.
Right.
Instead of deceiving you with somebody acting like he's the one, then you grow up believing, say, when you let me borrow this word, amplify a lie, it becomes truth.
Right.
And to answer your question, obey who say, we ne nyankopon ne okasa. And now we evil thought.
Right.
Because all we are interested in is evil. So the evil has become the signboard we are using. Sin.
Right.
When jaya, yes, one Joe, so jaya and son of Christ.
Right.
Oh, no man say also jaya and son of Joe. So all the focus of humankind is that we are in a certain weakness we cannot come out. And you have to fight and survive and come out before you can be counted among any group. Into your attention in your bonny. So much that Papa no creba yehu. It is so by ye breaking a kumasa. Ohunu bema obey ne papa kra. Or the sankrofo ne ho yaw and obey treaty bema into ube unsa na adepana yeden. Now listen to me. You have 5 senses. God speaks through these 5 senses. It will help you to awaken and you start seeking God and you want to hear his voice. We will be a war. A woman here would say, I say, Ujarin and Suko Asuma, said ye no. Now I had to say, I block it in seconds. Now, watch yourself. There's a communication coming. So we will be a how about to say as a metal be a screechy, but it shine what was say out to be.
Yes.
Good. But what do you do?
Because
you have never been even told to look out for them. Once your attention is on Bonnie, Papa Bakra, you have been told that you can't even communicate with God unless someone who has matured.
Right.
Now, no, before he matured, where did he pass? Why can't he give you that knowledge so that you can become like him? Then you will not go to him before you can talk to your father.
Right.
If you want to give a man education, give him the key to that education. What he has here? Yemu bi wa ebi wa wo shedwa na wo ye bibi no bia boldin. Wo be dane wo say nhu hwe. Ya kire Bible mu say Samuel, your friend Samuel. No who say Yankopon e kasa che. Ba wo be ka say obi boldin wo be dane wo be ka so ofie bosom na efre wo. Ofiri abefo no boldin aka say Yesu moja. You see, we are on a path that we need to wake up. Everything I'm saying is not something outside what you have been feeling within your spirit.
Right.
I am not sent to everybody. Not everybody will receive my message. But those that already have the triggers, I am confirming what you are feeling. Rise up as a child of God. Seek him first within you before you seek him without. It's a communication channel. Inti yena no namano tin can be on a nine more. I say, kwanya mi kwe emunye no assign. Why? He knows his body so much that when something is not normal to him, he knows this is a signal.
Necessarily, near my see away a hunemuno.
Our fathers could smell victory before war. They have a fellowship with God in so much that they opened all their consciousness. So they were very conscious of God within before without. And you know, to me, smelly a real man, I can say this war is victory. Of course, so obey day. But you better to say, and you be here, Drew. I am not disputing the fact to say, ya perverted to me no be brave. Te be the yen yamope. That's not what I'm talking about. I want you to go back, reset your factory settings, back to knowing God before you know any man on this earth. That's what I'm talking about. Enti Christo no. You see Jew for name Christo. What you say? Christo enye a Jewish language, enye Hebrew language mpo. So what you say? Ye nim no ansana omunim no. Eti eto da bia mumu bi wo ho amote ho unjini obia ho unjini kwabena ho unjini akoshia ho. But as you are sitting, all of a sudden you become absent minded. I said, what dream you are at a place, you are talking to people about something, then all of a sudden you know, you are transporting from this realm into a realm. And you won't to situation BBC. I said, realm. No, I say, deja vu. I've been there before. Because you are a spirit being, you travel, you are multiple beings, you can go anywhere. Even sitting at one place, you can still teleport everywhere. You can say it before.
You can say illusions.
Illusions. And you will believe him because you don't know yourself. Nobody can tell me that when I am maybe looking into things within me and I'm finding mysteries unraveled and codes, you tell me it's an illusion. No, I know better than that because I know myself. God communicates through numbers. Sometimes over sorry, phone no, we say number be sequence B.
Right. It be 222.
God. After that, you get to the work site. You want to open your computer. The same number appears. Good. Then someone calls you, and then you hear him repeating the sequence of that number. You think it's just coincidence. It's not coincidence.
Some do not even pay attention.
You won't, because you have been programmed to believe that unless someone lead you there, you cannot be there. Someone is telling you you are dumb, and you have accepted it. Listen, this fluoride we are using, they have written it. They didn't lie to anybody. They have written on it. If you read, you will see it there.
Yes.
In plain. Why are you not reading? Will you blame him for not reading? You understand?
Yes. Anyway, 46 minutes after 6. Yama kwene tifo nsomra movie. Na me has a tifo so much here because the brofu bibli afem. Any idea? I mean, it's something I to me enchim e trim. 0209-875-875. Or question be to me there. But to say me so no near a border madune. Pa Rev, any the fact that there's spirituality and all that. But science at the Yako a different level. In the sense that now you hear scientists talking about extraterrestrial beings, Nephilims.
You must understand that we all here came out of a divine being. So we are all beings. Just that
apart from human race, there are other beings.
We are not the only realm. Our realm is not the only realm. And that may teach you on how you human being project into the realm where Lucifer is and communicate and take information.
From Lucifer?
Yes. And you say he is here.
That is scary. Do I want that?
I won't go there. You won't go there.
Today? No, not today. Maybe
not any day.
Why not?
Your response communicates a lot. Look, we are beings.
You can't blame me.
If we start training ourselves, we could talk to each other without words.
Hello.
Who
did baby hour?
Patrick, friend Francis.
Francis, you what
Okay. Now, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm say Reverend, my friend video that on YouTube. Now, me say I'm someone that for some time now I've had a lot of questions about so many things in the Bible. Okay. And at a point, we decide the pastor catch him say, oh, area now Canadian. Men koho. Nam so oh, media answers amepe. Okay. And from what she's saying, recently I've also been reading the Bible, and I've realized as human beings, we all proceeded from God. So He's our source. And therefore, if we are all going back, we will all end up in God. But what you say.
Right.
And also, when it comes to, how do you call it, doctrines, well, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the dogma,
Yes.
Because Bible says Jesus Christ is truth, and the truth brings you into light. That's what I say. I wish that time would permit me to talk about certain things, but what I want to say is
right.
My spirit also bears witness with some of the things that she's saying. I don't know the men of God that she listens to, but I have a few men of God that I also follow who have been considered as controversial because almost 30 areas yes, those areas are no good area. That's what I say.
Right.
Universities they learn, they do research, but in Christianity we are told that you can't just accept everything that is said.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. You are on a mission to decode.
We all. When you wake up, you will start decoding.
Say at the end of a baby.
And you mean
and I make say what about na how ken na atobi team no so ahase say or no so ever start it. But definitely it has to start from someone.
Yeah.
To say creation no e hase na Nyankopon as a father figure no e relegate edema Adam. No so e de to aso aba be do yesu yi. People like you no and as say mwaba to handle that decoding. Hey,
because the people you even want them to come to light will beat you up. They will tear you into pieces.
The early days of Christianity says on net here.
Men find share Christianity. Because it didn't happen only there. Let's get rid of this notion, say from one perspective. Get it out of your head.
Right.
If he is not a Christian, he can still build a relationship with Father. And Father will communicate. You see, when I'm writing my story, let's go to the church. Let's do something. Obi offended. They about judgmental prayer. You know we have judgmental prayer in the church. Oh, some church bought atemum paye. See it me bompa catch brother Nyankopon so obi a otete oni nyame yi ni mfi wiase.
Right.
Obi a otete. Yeah. Now, you believe from the ya kire oni de unim baby a wugina no. Wugidi say once you tell God that this my brother has offended me, he is after my life, so God kill him. God has to listen and kill him. That's your understanding.
Right.
So when you are communicating to your children, you are telling your children that apart from you and your children, God doesn't love anybody around you. And anybody that is your enemy is automatically God's enemy.
Right.
So we are told only the Jews, the Israelites, knew God. You understand? But when Abraham gave his wife Sarah to Abimelech and lied to Abimelech that this is my sister,
right.
somehow she is, But in that contest, she was not. And then the man Abimelech. Enye busumi bako, enye busumi mienu, because the record says that Abimelech the more eche Abraham because of Sarah. And a more Dore. And because Sarah was Abraham's wife, Abimelech yire no nyina omwumbu mu toye. Before you can say oba wumbu mu atono, it has to exceed a year. What you say?
Yes.
Approximately.
And they are maybe after 50. Anna.
Ebia, no, unineti. We onineti. Enye obaby after 50 onineti. Mwa worry be 1 year awomba.
Right.
Then everybody will start looking around.
Okay.
So the account says that Abimelech yire no nyina they went barren. So a year approximately.
Right.
Abba, Sarah was with Abimelech. Then according to the story, Abimelech had an encounter with God. Abimelech was in where? Gerar. Not a Jew. Not an Israelite. Because Abraham nankasano. No nyam krameye Jew ni. So what happened? Abimelech ni nyankopon di nkita ni nyankopon ka chense Abimelech minimu akoma. Enti no ba ibedi wo from redodo no. I've not strike you. Take him back, take her back, go and give her to the husband. He's a prophet, he will pray for you. Abimelech call Abraham no. Abraham ma statement be that in pacho kan o kakra na manonti.
Genesis chapter 20 from verse 6.
Pacho kasaguma ikilumame.
Genesis chapter 20 from verse 6. But see, then God said to him in a dream, yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Verse 7. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die.
Listen here.
Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials. And when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, what have you done to us? How have we wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should not be done. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? Verse 11. Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife.
To Abraham, there was no fearful person on that land. To Abraham, no, right. And Abimelech, they didn't know God. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a text that was moved out of this version where God was speaking to Abimelech. Abimelech beside Nyankopon said, are you going to strike down a whole righteous nation? Mm-hmm. And God said, no, I'm not going to do that. So, did the Bible even say that apart from Abraham, people knew God? Yes, he did. And Abraham thought that, so it is the same message we are passing on. Telling your children, telling your friends that apart from God's relationship with you, everybody else is an alien to God.
And that ends me being common. Rev, also to me, baby. Rev, also to me, baby. My fuck call back. Hello.
Hello.
Do radio, no mommy, why patch out.
Good evening.
Right, who did the baby hour?
Yeah, good evening, my loan.
Who did the baby hour?
Your friend me, Emmanuel, Mikasafli Amatama area.
You might enter away quickly.
So, Madam Asibe, now, Yama Mikasano can give self hearing as your spirit tells you. One of the Mikasa.
Okay.
So my observable that self hearing sometimes no. The fear because I don't know my yeah. Now I happy.
Right.
Now it bounced back to me. It is a me now I bet they do prepare plenty mostly no the family crown no the things you know me some and I say me obia before See, mostly me catch us and me by for bet. Me feel said this thing is going to happen, and it's happening exactly what I feel in my spirit.
Okay.
Recently, day before yesterday, that was the Saturday. My family, my brothers, they called me to Kwakaka. Now, along the road, something happened. My spirit tells me that we should do something before going to the family. In fact, one of my brothers told me, say, now, or just say, make a baby and son or my do one. But maybe the kind of I didn't do anything.
Wow.
I would like to collect his number because I've been following the teachings from the beginning up to this time.
Okay, or the contacts ever to you. Yanko UK. Yanko UK. UK na Muyana. Hello, UK. Hello.
Yes.
Metenyum bi ubetumi alo wanyom na mami anka mepe. Lo wanyom na mabe.
Me free radio no so I'm not sure what you get.
What's it? Hold on just a sec. I can hear something. Right, Ebacho afi ya tonka. Yentio.
Okay. Yeah, mami EVELYN say. Me happy say we see your back. Reason being that I think it's one my name flow into certain things to be or how we just got a gist of it. For instance, she was explaining the fact that God did not curse Adam after the so-called eating of the fruit, which was not the eating of any fruit. It was just disobedience. So, I mean, I wanted to hear more of that, but you did cut it short over there. And say, by next time, yeah. Now, maybe I say, if I creation, and I you might be agree about it. Now, you understand, a more actual, yeah,
that's it. You better boy who more than pass it at least once a month, dear. And I REV obey once a week. REV yede nkomo ni si e den na odi ja etifo nyina.
Dear me DJ obia ne say. Please listen to me. You have the choice not to believe what I am saying. That is the starting point.
Right.
If you don't believe me, then what do you believe? You have to believe from what is within you. You have the right to dispute what I am saying, but don't just dispute it. Search for your truth. Mm-hmm. Don't just leave it just like that. And you'll be an enemy by your dream. I'm not the only person that knows God. I'm standing at a certain experience and I'm communicating it into your experience. So I'm giving you an evidence within yourself to start searching for something. Rise up and seek God within you. You will find him. You will find him. He's nowhere far from you.
Right.
Now, understand also, my kind of baby say, I came from a witness background. Mm-hmm. I've been in the charismatic move as well. I am an ordained minister of God. Mm-hmm. I've practiced this reverend for some years. I've had congregations that I've ministered to, and my ministry that I used to teach. Okay? They will tell you we are growing into dimensions.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. I have believed everything you believe now until I said no. I need to know him for myself. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Right.
Know God for yourself.
87.5 FM. I had the Awebas basic for today. This is a very different edition of Awebas. I hope so. Yes, Bibi. Mami no nim the other doors containing hair no. But we'll see the way forward next time. Your friend Nana Kwame Akwabo, Yankomo yard much na ibesiamba. Nana Inshaba ede news na etwa so yakram.
I love you, man.
Live from Accra to London and from London to Accra. This is the news on Rainbow Radio.